When you're ready, go ahead.
Ready? Alright, good morning everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Arno, and my project is entitled Time is Ticking, Feeling Stressed or Motivated. So basically what I was looking at is how the effects that a digital timer and the direction of timing has on stress and motivation. What I mean by direction of timing, I'm talking about, does it start at 0, the timer, and then count up to 5 minutes, or does it start at 5 minutes and then count down to 0? So like a stopwatch versus a countdown timer. So that were my variables, the ascending versus descending timer. And then what I was measuring is stress, which I measured through the ESRQ, which is the Emotional Stress Reaction Questionnaire. And motivation I measured through the number of matched pairs on the activity I had people do, which I'll go into in a second. So what I hypothesized was that both stress and motivation would be higher when the timer is counting down than when the timer is counting up. So the way I measured this is through the game of memory. We have to try to find the matched pairs of cards. So participants had the cards in front of them with the big clock either counting up or down. Participants were in both my conditions, so they did it with it counting up once and then they did it again counting down. I swapped the order, so some people did up first, some people did down first, to keep it random. So for my results, what I found is that there's no significant difference in motivation between the two conditions, which means they're exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same, but and then for stress, I did find a significant difference, which means that when a timer is counting down, people are more motivated than when a timer is counting up, which is a pretty interesting little thing I found. So what are the implications of this? Well, it means that a timer increases descending timer increases motivation while not increasing stress, which is half of what I hypothesized. I thought it would, but I thought stress would also increase. So some practical applications of this would be a timed workplace environment, piecemeal work, where you have to make a certain amount of things in a certain amount of time. Adding a timer to these conditions could increase motivation if it's descending. Another one would be a sports application. I was already talking to the soccer coach about this, and he said he was going to try implementing this type of thing with his team. So, there's a lot of future applications and studies for this project. Thank you. Any questions?
I think stress and motivation are super hard things to study in general, but you seem to have found some really interesting results or insights into stress, and maybe in particular. I wonder if motivation, the way you're studying this, if motivation is just too hard to get at, can you really use this kind of method and get at motivation in a robust way? How do you know basically that you can eliminate issues of memory to get at motivation, for one example? But so do you feel like you can get at motivation in a robust way with this type of study?
I think so, because when I was doing all my background research, I found 2 or 3 articles which said motivation can be measured through productivity, which is basically what I did. So when you look at productivity, you can use it as a measure for how hard people are working or how hard they're trying to do what they're trying to do, whatever the task is. But on the memory side, if you do a different activity, you might find different results. The only way to really test that is to, try every activity known to man.
So you were using the matched pairs as the measure of motivation.
Yeah.
Did you find any significant difference between trial 1 and trial 2? Did people get better at matching the pairs the second time they did it?
Not particularly, because they had a new set of cards, so the cards were all different every time. And I swapped the order around, so sometimes, it was kind of up the first time to sort of eliminate that effect.
Thank you.
To ensure that it didn't affect the results.
Productivity can either be open-ended or coercive, obviously. For instance, you can say you will do the following in such and such a time, or you have the option of doing whatever. Wouldn't it be natural to see one is positive and the other a little bit more negative in terms of coercion versus open-endedness?
I don't think so. I think, because mine was pretty, they had the goal, and I specified it very much that the goal was to make as many matched pairs as possible. And it was kind of set up to be impossible. They had a lot of cards in front of them, so nobody could really reach the goal. So I kind of set it up that way to
Finish your thought.
Another question?
No more questions.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, cut the video and then let her ask.
Yeah.
Okay.